welcome a transformative voice who stands at the crossroads of science, spirituality, and personal evolution. With more than 3 decades of experience, she's guided countless individuals towards clarity, alignment, and meaningful inner growth. A nationally recognized veteran radio host, she's brought metaphysical conversations into the mainstream long before they were widely understood. She's also the creator of Wicks of Wisdom, a unique system designed to support emotional, energetic, and personal transformation. Please welcome Dr. Linda Salvin, MPH, PhD, metaphysician, veteran radio host, and founder of Wicks of Wisdom to the stage.
Walking down the street, I say hi to those I meet. I love who they are, all they are.
I wrote that song and I'm singing that song, and that song is currently being produced by a Grammy Award-winning producer in Los Angeles. It'll hit the market next year. It's called Love Who You Are. Pretty appropriate for what's going on right now. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin, and yes, this is my 3rd time with Forttuna, and it's my 3rd time as a keynote here with Forttuna. And like I said, when I accepted my last Forttuna, which I had no idea I was receiving, thank you again, Raul, Dr. Raul and Aditi. Hey! When we give out awards later on, when you get your first Forttuna, and you might get 1 or 2 or 3, like some of you, congratulations. Your life will start to change. Mine did. A lot of you don't know me. It's okay. You may hear my name. You may have known of my name over the 3+ decades that I've been in the media in the United States and branching out worldwide, especially since the internet started in 1996. But I started radio before the internet, so I'm turning 72 years old next month. And I have some mileage on me, which is why I can't walk as well as I used to, so I need help. But, you know, most people kind of get up, they kind of know where they're going, and life takes a few turns, and it falls into place, usually with a career. Mine's taken a different type of journey. I ended up with a master's degree in public health and epidemiology, which has become the big word these days, especially since the pandemic of epidemics with the COVID. But in 1981, while I was an environmental health specialist for an insurance company, I sat in the airport in San Jose, California, and I looked out the window and I said, doesn't the plane look like it's going to crack there? And my partner at the time thought I was nuts and just tired. But on the way home, we crash landed, and the plane did in fact crack where I had a vision that the plane was going to crack. So I survived a plane crash on February 17th, 1981, and it changed my whole perspective on life. It wasn't an overnight thing. It took 6 years to recuperate from the worst of the trauma, but during that time I found something other than science. My background is very scientific, data analysis, statistics, doctors, let's find the cure, let's find the demographics, where does this disease cluster, nationwide, internationally, whatever, what's the cure, how do we work with the doctors, hospitals, and whatnot. But then I found spirituality, God, what's God, who's God, how do I find God, and what am I going to do with all this newfound energy that at the age of 27 to 32 was taking over my life. So people ask, what do you do? I just got asked by Dr. Ibram, what do you do? I don't know how to explain what I do, except I kind of like put pieces of a puzzle of someone's life back together. They're all scattered and fragmented. They come to me, and in 10 seconds, I hear your voice and I have your answer. I can hear a voice and I know exactly who you are, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you need, and what you might not even know about, but I can help you get there. I have that gift. Between the time of the 80s, when I was going through all this, after a plane crash, I got hit by a fire truck, totaled car, had the white light experience, was given the choice to live or die. I made a commitment to this thing on the other side that I can't give away at this point in my life yet as to what it was all about. But along the way, going into acting and comedy and music and bouncing around, I ended up in radio. And I was on the air for over 20 years. Before the internet, before a podcast, I was on AM and FM radio. And I had a fight with the FCC to get God and psychic and spirituality and helping people beyond a therapeutic word on the air. And I broke ground in the United States. So radio gave me a platform to connect with humans. people, voices, problems. Is he going to call? Am I married to the right person? Is this my job? Is this my career? Where am I headed? Am I going to die soon? My mom just died. What, does she have a message for me? Why am I here? Is my dog okay? Am I going to go to school? Am I going to pass the bar exam? Whatever the life question might have been at the time, I became the, I don't want to say the know-it-all, but I became that conduit to provide an answer and help people. And along the way of giving people a foundation for life and a purpose or their passion or their agreement or whatever catchword you want to use, I found that people wanted more than spiritual answers of hope, faith, courage, strength, something to believe in that they didn't find within themselves. I shined that light. And at that time in 1999, when I was in over 400 markets of national radio in the United States, I was introduced to candle power. And I learned that through candles, with a certain set of essential oils, herbs, and powders, with what we call petitions that burn within the candles, I can help change lives. And people wanted more than just answers. So I developed a candle line called Wicks of Wisdom. And I am Jewish, and I was studying Kabbalah with a rabbi who's now deceased. And one day I walked into class, and we opened the book up, and it was all about candles. And this is after people telling me I'm doing the work of Jesus. I have been banned, I have been screamed at, I have been cursed at, I have been called every name in the book for the work I've done and do. And then all of a sudden I said, Rabbi, he goes, yes, Linda, it comes from somewhere. Well, yeah, it was about 3,500 years ago that this was developed. I didn't make it up, but I brought it forward. Just like today, somebody was talking to me before the event. They were talking about manifestation and intention. That's today's words. But you go back to the Bible, and this is all the same stuff. One of my patients is currently in Cairo. He called me at 3 o'clock this morning because he's having a problem. We're only a few hours away from the United States. And I said, if you need something, I'm here. And he's going through stuff, and he's over in the pyramids. It's all the same. It's just a different decade. It's just another time of life. We just recycle the same words and technology again and again and again, but we're still finding what hits the soul for peace, harmony, balance, contentment. And that's what Wicks of Wisdom does. It helps open doors. For example, I had a man who has been working with me from Hong Kong, and he runs a multi-million-dollar organization in the IT industry, and he's having a lot of conflict with some of the inner workings of the structural workings of people, places, things, international, and a lot of it's the organizational structure. It's not just the finances, it's not just IA, it's the whole wheel. And sometimes the own personal problems of a human being that's at the helm needs help as well. So I work with somebody. What do? I'll take the whole person, and I look at the mind, body, spirit. I look at the family. I look at the structure. I look at the company. I look at the financials. I look at where they're headed, what their goals are. I look at the whole enchilada. And I put it together. I say, you don't need this, you need that. You got to fire this person. You might need to hire 2 people over here. You need to do this, you need to do that. And next thing you know, holistically, I find an answer. And sometimes I'll do a healing on somebody. Sometimes I'll suggest a set of candles that will bring in more money or love or get rid of negativity or bounce something back to heal a situation. And after 2.5 months of this person in Hong Kong that has had nothing but negativity and downsides of upsets, where it was like 2-3 times a week. What about this? What about that? What about her? What about him? What about da, 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 da. It's like it finally calmed down and got to the other side of a breakthrough. And the breakthrough will come not because of a cognitive plan, but because of a spiritual and emotional option that if you go to the other side within yourself with the idea of what needs to be done from the cognitive to the spiritual, the science to the spiritual, you can blend and see a bigger picture than is average communication in a corporate world. Because I come from corporate, I come from academia. I did brain tumor research at USC. I put together a drug abuse program at a California State University. I did all that stuff. I did. But I've also performed on stage and music and comedy. I just do what I do. But the main thing is I help people today as a metaphysician. I went at the age of 54. Yes, I'm older than most of you. At the age of 54, I got my PhD to qualify and quantify my master's in public health epidemiology to bring it all together in a world that most people didn't even know how to say metaphysics, let alone epidemiology. So, after being syndicated for many years and then bridging science with the human voice and Wicks of Wisdom to help people see that there's more to life than what you think, I have opened doors because of my own story of near-death experiences and being shaken up. And you talk about resilience, you talk about failure, you talk about wanting to crawl into a hole, you want to talk about grief, you want to talk about anxiety. I had to go through a lot of hell and pain to get where I am because I kept getting up. Gratefully to Forttuna, my first Forttuna was last December here at the QE2, and then I was luckily and fortunate asked to be the keynote in Mumbai in this past May. At that time, I hit the stage and my father had just been put on hospice. And I said to my father before I left, either you die before I go or you wait till I get back. And he died 10 days after I returned from that trip. So I spent this summer preparing, knowing I'd be coming back to Dubai in my grief. And we've all experienced grief. We've all experienced loss. And a lot of people have not experienced the loss of a parent. I've now lost both. I'm grateful that I'm in my 70s and he lasted this long, but hurt, pain, loss is loss. Same thing, business, money, dogs, cats, birds, people. When you've got that ache and that hole or that devastation and nothing fills it up, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, food, we're always looking, shopping, fill up the hole, fill up the hole, fill up the hole. I finally found there's something out there. If you let that spirit come in, you're going to fill up even for a moment. Right now, fill up with Forttuna. Fill up with the award you're going to walk home with tonight. Fill up with the achievement you've achieved by walking your own journey all these years. You didn't get here to Forttuna with all of the people they've analyzed to be in this group tonight. Trust me. You've earned it with all your own blood, sweat, and tears. I've gone from radio to rituals. I started radio when I was 40. And now my book's coming out. I've got 3 producers that want to make the movie. I've got the song coming out. I walked away from 2 record deals along the way. You just keep going. You just show up. You just keep going. Another example of helping people, besides the guy in Hong Kong, I have somebody in Toronto, Canada, that has a wife. This guy's a big guy he's a big administrator in the health industry, and his wife was bleeding vaginally, needed a hysterectomy, came to me for help, not going to the doctor. She didn't want surgery. We did health and wellness candles. I did a healing. She stopped bleeding. I'm not a miracle worker, but I know that my work works. You don't have to believe, but there's something out there that's different than just the pharmaceutical industry and the surgical industry and your mainline Western medical industry. There's more. If you want to know more about it, you can talk to me afterwards, and I will explain more of what I've discovered from going left brain to the woo-woo brain. But it helps because I've learned how to help people. And then you've got to learn when you're with your organization that sometimes, you trust your intuition, because a lot of people are going to say, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I took my car in to be serviced just the other day. There's a light. I got a new car 6 months ago. I couldn't figure out why the door light, when I opened the door, the light wouldn't go on. And I knew it was something with the switch. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 people at service said they needed to keep the car for 3 days while I'm out of town. I said, that's not true. So I finally got angry. I had part of my language that wasn't very feminine, but I got to the manager of service, took him 10 seconds to adjust it after the other people wanted 3 days. If you fight enough and keep to your voice and keep to yourself and keep to what you believe, you'll get the job done. A lot of people don't push enough to get to the other side. They'll go to a point, they give up. You give up, you're not going to get what you want. You're going to make a lot of people angry. You might make some enemies. They may not understand how you communicate, but when you know something's right, Speak up, get it done, even if it's a small edit, even if it's an adjustment in the writing of a chapter, because I'm dealing with a co-writer right now. It's like, no, I want the book this way, no, the sentence got to go that way. It's my book. Speak up, people. You know, grief is hard. I'm going to take a moment. I need some help coming down the stairs. But I want to come out and ask you about your opinion on grief. I want to ask you your opinion in your business. I want to know from you some of your personal experiences. If I ask you a question, just like I would on the air, because I do interactive just before the internet, people would call in night after night after night with their problems. So let's pretend I'm back on the air, and I'm taking your phone calls, but instead I'm going to come up to the table. Raise your hand if you have a question about your love life or your career. What would you want to know an answer to as to how to deal with a problem? So is it something about 2026 in the first quarter you want to know? Is there a more effective strategy you might want to deal with? You want to know about dealing with grief? I'm right there. It's only 6 months Tuesday that I lost my father, June 2nd. It's very raw. I'm still very raw. I'm very, very raw. Is there a relationship in your life you want to know about? Love? Marriage? Boyfriend? Girlfriend? 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 Boyfriend? Boyfriend? I don't care. Love. What's one area in business where you wish you had more clarity, more money, investments? Are they going to invest? Are you going to lose it? Are you going to get it back? Going to get a new door open? Where's the microphone? Which one am I supposed to take? This one? Raul? Where's Raul? He was supposed to help me. I don't know where he went. Someone's got to help me down the steps. Let's see. Who's first? Who wants a question answered? Who's going to raise their hand first? Or am I just going to go to table and just pick on somebody? Don't be shy. Come on. Don't get old, people. It's not fun. Okay, no one's raising their hand. I'll just pick on somebody. I'll go this way. What's your question?
My question.
Don't look away. Look at me. Eye contact is number one in business, relationships, communication. Everybody looks this way. Nobody wants eye contact. You ask a question, they're looking over here and you're over here. It helps to look at the person and connect, right? What do you want to know? You want to know about your love life or work? Which one? Work. What about money? What do you want to know? Come on, you don't have all night. We're on the air. No, we're on a time frame.
Okay, work.
What do you do?
I'm CEO in pharma industry.
So what do you want to know? How you're going to do in the next quarter?
Next year.
Next year? How about if we do a quarter at a time? Okay. January, February is going to be slow. March, April, May, you're going to see a huge increase. And by the end of the year, you're going to almost double what you're doing right now because you've got 2 people you're going to change positions with. You're going to bring on somebody new, and there's a new strategy that's going to bump up what you've been toying with because you've been confused about letting somebody go. Is that right?
Yes.
You're welcome. Talk to me after. Hi, what do you want to know? Her love life.
No, my love life.
Shh, don't say anything.
Maybe about life.
What do you want to know?
About my work.
What is it that you do?
I am into real estate.
So you want to know about how many more deals you're going to close by the end of the year, or you want to wait till the first quarter? How many escrows?
Yeah, first quarter.
Are you in residential right now and you're going commercial? You got one big commercial coming up. I mean, one huge that you may not have to work for the rest of the year. Is that what you're working on right now?
Yes, absolutely.
If you do the money and success and good luck power candles that I have, let me just tell you a quick story about the real estate people that I work with. They're at the height of their careers in their brokerage firms or whatever, and a lot of the salespeople don't know why they're always getting the deals and the escrows, because the candles help elevate the blocks and obstacles. Even during 2008, when the crash hit, people were selling. Contact me after. You've got one huge deal coming that's gonna, you'll call me later and say, wow, she was right. Okay, let's go back one more, and then I gotta go give it up. Melanie. Yeah, but I want to talk to Melanie. Hi, Melanie.
Hi.
What's your question?
Oh boy. Well, I was pointing to him.
All right, what do you want to know?
I got in trouble. Okay.
What's the question?
How can I make sure that I get someone to let me impact their lives when they don't understand?
You mean how to have them trust you? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I need somebody like that. I'm looking for an investor. Can I trust you? When it comes to having somebody trust you, you've got to be able to prove why you're trustworthy. So if you're right away coming off as a hip, slick talker, you're not going to be trustworthy. But you got to show your profile. You got to show testimony. You got to let some people know your track record and let them really come to you. You can't just solicit. Everybody's online. Remember, before online, before the internet, everybody was a commodity. Now everybody's a somebody. Everybody's a talk show host, a podcaster. We're all on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We're not unique, even though we're unique here at Forttuna. So for you to get more, you have to find your brand and become one step ahead of your competitor. And it's not about schmoozing them and gifting them, but it's how you present them. And like you are, keep the eye contact and be yourself.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, Melanie. Okay, anybody else? You can see me afterwards. This is what I do for a living. Corporate, academics, schools, privates, all over the world. I've been helping people for a long time. He's helping me because old people can't make up the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me leave you with this thought. Whether you're 24, 34, 64, I'm only turning 72, so I'm not going to say 74 yet, but, you know, life goes fast. My dad died 2 months before his 96th birthday. We've all got relatives that have passed. We have people who are sick right now. We have animals. We're under one of the last big full moons till 2040 something. It's not going to be this big and bright for another 20 years. So the energy's kind of thick and heavy, but embrace it, remember it, and remember your Forttuna. December 5th, 2025. We're all connected. We've all been here before, and we'll all be here again. But hold on to your soul. Hold on to your spirit. Never mind what's going on out there. You earned it. You earned your seat. Embrace everything that's coming in the future, everybody. Thanks.